we've been thinking about this for like a year, like 6 months. Like, no, you thought about it last week and you pushed record. Like, I see that all the time. I fell flat on my face doing this.
You don't support me in all of my endeavors.
I quite literally support you in all of your endeavors.
You had all these ideas, and I just told you to just be consistent and to start off small.
We make our goals an idol. We make our job an idol. And that's one thing that I've always kind of sucked at, is making things a daily practice to reprioritize and making Jesus the center.
And I said this to you too because you're such a dreamer. I think for me, what works well with us is that
I'm a piglet. You feel me?
You're a what?
Piglet.
What the heck does that mean? What are you saying?
Step into the bad side.
Step into the bad side. It's a great song. Great song. Gonna take the mean ride.
So my ego has been getting in the way lately.
Wow, I just like out of nowhere. You're so dumb.
It has. Especially dealing with this podcast. I'm so ebb and flowy. Pisses me off sometimes. Like, I'm so up and down with it.
Okay. Is that how we're starting this, or?
I don't know. I don't know what you have planned. Just please take it away. I'm so sorry.
We didn't say like welcome back. Like,
that's literally how the podcast will start.
Okay.
But yeah, do your thing, please. Please go right ahead.
Welcome back. What was that?
I'm just being free, bro. Just let me live my life.
Grunting?
What did I do?
I said, welcome back.
That's how I communicate, I guess. Polakaya.
I know. This is how we communicate.
I looked at the clock right now. It said 6:30 because the power turned off. I'm like,
I was like, what?
6:30? That's freaking awesome.
I'm like, why would the girls be in bed then?
We're terrible parents.
Just go to bed.
It's 9:30.
That's funny. All right, welcome back to All Strings Attached.
Welcome back to All Strings Attached.
Hey. Should we start saying our names? I'm V.
Hey, I'm Ghost. Aaron.
What?
What's up? Kids are asleep. You need to lower your voice.
Nah.
Lower your voice.
I love your shirt, babe.
I appreciate it. I just gotta represent. You know what I'm saying? I represent my girl anywhere I go, 24/7, 26, 365. Yeah.
You always get a lot of compliments too. You got
I do.
5 compliments today.
It's a little more snug than I'd like.
Yes.
And so when someone looked at it today, they touched my belly.
They did?
I didn't like that at all.
That's so.
You pictured it, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, it's a dope shirt. I'm like, yeah, don't touch me, bro. Especially there.
That's so funny. What?
I'm glad you think that's funny.
Is that like a man's insecurity, I guess?
It's my insecurity.
Well, it's
I don't know
yours,
about a
so.
man's. You don't have a belly to touch, so
I do.
think
but
of someone else who has a belly. I don't think.
I don't know.
It's my biggest insecurity.
That's true.
So they could literally touch my peen and I wouldn't be as insecure about it.
Nice pants.
Nice pants, bro. This is off the rails. This is why we don't do it so late at night. But it's probably better. It's fine.
This is the real side of us now, guys.
Woo. Yeah, that's my biggest insecurity for sure. All right, you cried this one.
I know. Sorry. Woo. All right.
Welcome back to All Strings Attached.
Welcome back. But yes, you did get a lot of compliments today about your shirt.
Yeah, it's a dope shirt.
It's
even
kinda
from
funny.
random freaking strangers at Chilies and stuff.
Yeah, it was cool.
I was like, I appreciate it, bro.
They're like, oh, I like your shirt. Didn't somebody say, like, is that an artist one time? Or who said, somebody said something about your shirt.
We went to the mall.
Is that what
The
it was?
dude in the store was like, wait, that's her.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's famous.
That's true.
Give me a discount.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorites. You've probably seen it on TikTok Shop or something. That's where she got it.
That's where I got it from.
And
it took
her
forever.
information was stolen shortly after.
It was not stolen.
Did you not just replace your card because it's stolen?
Because it was showing up as a decline for Marriott in Anaheim, not
So
because
someone
of
stole your information.
at the Marriott.
TikTok
that
Shop,
we didn't
don't use
stay
it.
at.
It's terrible.
I don't know. I've heard a lot of good things about TikTok Shop, and then I haven't.
So have you or no?
Have I what?
You have heard, but you haven't?
I have heard, but I haven't. I've heard stuff that it's like
Solid,
good,
solid.
but then I've heard that
Amen.
it's not like bad.
Hallelujah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. It's gonna be a I don't know if it's gonna be a good one, to be honest. I don't know what we're doing.
Talking about. Anyways.
Nice pants. Yeah.
My pants and a shirt.
One of those.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ay. Speaking about Jesus Christ.
Yeah. What about him?
It's great. You have been. You always watch him all the time. You've been a huge George Janko fan for a very, very long time.
George is going bananas right now.
After he left Logan.
I know. I kind of did too, to be honest.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But I mean, it was the right thing to do, I think.
Quickly on the Logan thing. I looked up to Logan a lot, even though he's younger than me. But just his creative prowess, his creative mind. But after he started talking about George, why are you laughing, bruh?
I started picturing the nice pants again.
Oh my God.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
You picturing my nice pants? No, but as soon as he started destroying George for his beliefs,
Yeah.
I'm like, so you think the same about like me? You don't.
Yeah.
He doesn't know me, but like, that's your best friend that you're talking a lot of mess about.
Yeah.
Like you would go even more berserk. I believe the same as George.
Yeah.
So that was one of the final straws for me.
Right.
You know, besides the scam stuff and everything else.
We had this conversation too because I said the other thing that I don't understand is if it was any other different type of religion, would he have done the same thing?
Probably not.
Because if he would have, I feel like that would have even gotten more hate. Or at least he would get more hate for that rather than it just being Christian.
I don't know, honestly.
You don't think so?
I just really don't know. Yeah, I feel like people are a little bit more fearful to attack other religions because it isn't so Americanized.
Right.
People feel like they understand Christianity because it's very Western and it's very kind of in the culture-ish, but people still don't have any idea. Mm-hmm. It's like you probably understand little bits and pieces of other religions, but they think they know a little bit more about Christianity when they really don't.
Yeah.
Like people that are in Christianity and believe in Christianity, believe in Jesus, don't know half of this stuff.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know how it would have been perceived or the reaction would have been if he would have been attacking a different religion. Like if George was like like
even Muslim or anything like that, and he's like cracking jokes or saying something about that, I feel like it would be taken on completely
like if George
different.
was Jewish or something.
Right.
Like I don't think he would have went as hard on him.
Yeah.
Because he has certain stereotypes that Logan thinks of when he thinks of Christianity. But that was the last time I don't even subscribe to any of his stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'll see Impulsive pop up once in a while when they're talking about George. But other than that, I'll probably tune in when they go back, do the crossover, because it's a lot of forgiveness happening and they're friends, so I get it. But I'll probably watch when George is on it again. Other than that, I'm a George follower.
Yeah.
Supporter.
And
have been since day one.
And it's really cool now too because he's stepping out a lot more.
Yeah.
And talking a lot more about his faith, and
he really encouraged me. I texted you the other day, George just slapped me in the face right now.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I should not ever shy away from having these conversations about Jesus, ever. He's like, so I'm literally going to walk this thing out on camera.
Yeah.
And it slapped me in the face because I'm like, I want to now become so private, kind of, in sense of like, I used to create a lot of faith-based stuff, and now I'm kind of shying away from it because I don't want to feel like I'm just drowning it down people's throats or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm like, you don't need to shove it down people's throats in order to like put your faith out there,
right,
and state like what you believe. And so in the way, like, George has been really vocal about his faith, about his struggles, and like I said, walking it out on camera. So it really relates to what I want to try to get back to.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever get back to, like, when we were doing the shift, I was making like these little 30-second little sermons. I don't think I'll ever get back to that because I don't ever want to be, let me rephrase. I don't want to be perceived as a preacher right now, because I am not that. And to not sound cliche and steal Nemo's line about my dad had the pulpit, he has a camera. I relate to that a lot. And maybe it's we'll be able to help people on their walk and in their journey with being really transparent about our struggles, about how we're always trying to just become better. But George has really encouraged me because they're walking it out for everyone to see. Yeah. He's cussing still. He's being himself genuinely, and he's getting the success he deserves, which is dope. And he's having conversations with people about Jesus and getting Jesus' name out there. Yeah. Millions and millions of people to see. And he stands so firm. Yeah. He's like, my God is so big. I'm like, bruh, go ahead. Yeah. Like, that's amazing. He'll still get crapped on by all these for sure super religious and elite Christians, but that's what it's all about, man. Mm-hmm. Where you're at. Yeah. Yeah.
And it just reminds me of like a conversation that we had a while back of when we were trying to like start digging deeper into getting back into our roots. Yeah. And just getting back to our basics of reading and worship and doing all those things. But I remember one of the things that I told you was even trying to just talk to people again and being more about being evangelists, basically. Yeah. And I think that's just the thing that people get twisted, is that people think that in order to do that, you have to go out and go to the corners and go to the streets and do this and that and to tell everybody about Jesus and hold up a sign and all these things.
People can do that.
And they do, that's which is fine. But I think also we have to understand that it's even a simple conversation in a grocery store. I remember that you always tell me, I don't understand how people can come up to you and just tell you their whole life story, and you just like, you basically create a whole relationship with people just out of nowhere.
It's true. That's a gift I think you have.
But it just brings me back to that of like, I can have those conversations with people and still bring it back to Jesus and still bring it back to those things of having that conversation if people are struggling or whatever.
The conversation we're having right now versus how this podcast started is bananas. But 100%.
Because I think it's also just the fact of not trying to overthink all that. And that's the one thing that we were talking about is I felt that, at least for me personally, we were starting to get selfish in the way of what are we doing in our lives, what's happening with our family, what's this, what's that. And we're focused on our personal journeys that we're going through and not realizing that we're losing the actual main focus of trying to just reach people for Jesus and bringing them to Jesus and showing them his love and everything.
It's a consistent, it's a daily practice of reprioritizing and refocusing, because when our problems in life gets big, we make that the idol. Like, we've heard that before.
Yeah.
Right? We make our problems an idol in our life. We make our goals an idol. We make our job an idol, right? And that's one thing that I've always kind of sucked at is making things a daily practice to reprioritize and readjust, making Jesus the center. And that's where, for me, I get stuck in that of just not making him number one and making that a daily practice. But to go back to your point of why do we make it so unattainable with evangelism and getting back to the basics of actually talking and sharing more, it comes from this place of I do not know enough. And that's where I get stuck, because I'm like, I can't be making this content and talking about Jesus and doing this and that when my information, my knowledge level is so minimal.
Yeah.
Why would anyone ever listen to me? So I think I've come to a place now to where I love Jesus, and I've said this, I'm a jacked up, screwed up sinner who loves Jesus, who I may not know all the answers, but there's something about this name that just helps. Like, I don't know. So if I'm talking to somebody, I'll never have that conversation with somebody without having a relationship. Goes back to even we were talking about a couple episodes ago about confrontation. It's different when you have confrontation with someone you have a relationship with.
Yeah.
Goes the same for telling somebody about what we believe.
It's almost been an insecurity for you.
Yeah.
Of, because I don't have this knowledge, I feel like you can't, or you feel like you can't talk to people and all this. And I just had a thought right now of the people that were used by God. They didn't have a Bible to go to be used. Here's a book and read up on Jesus. And once you know, like, who he is, go ahead and now Moses, go and free my people. Like, no.
Yeah, 100%. But I think the thing that's like intimidated me a little bit and made me a little even scared to continue making content about that or even leaning into that a little bit more is actually I was watching a Ruslan video, and he was pretty much just bashing. The way he communicates is really interesting. Do you know who Ruslan is? So he was talking about all these young kids that were on TikTok doing these videos and getting millions of views, whether they were preaching or sharing something. But he was pretty much saying, for him, it was hard to listen. It's hard to listen. I don't like listening to them because they're just regurgitating something they literally read that day. To where, I guess, in comparison to someone like him, who has years and years of this spiritual practice and disciplines and all that. So for me, it like made me almost a little gun shy, because a lot of this is regurgitation. There are some things in there that are fundamental and that are instilled in my heart and in my beliefs. They're just that I know I believe wholeheartedly. I can't explain it.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things that's made me a little gun shy. Yeah, because I'm so biblically illiterate.
But I also think about, like, anyone who's also wanting to accept Jesus into their heart has no idea who Jesus is. So I don't think they're looking for some huge story or this huge knowledge of, in verse blah, 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 what the Bible says, thou shalt not, blah, blah, blah. Like, I think they're just wanting a genuine relationship and a genuine, just basic knowledge to an introduction.
I always think about it this way. You've heard me say this before. I'm just trying to invite people to the party. There's going to be a party one day. It's going to be bananas. If I can get you an invitation, I just want to give you an invitation.
Yeah.
And if anything, I always want to just be, let me just, here you go. There's some interest, and then it's on you and your journey to figure out what it looks, sounds, your education on it, what your understanding of Jesus and everything. Yeah, I don't know. I've just been gun shy a little bit in the last couple of years, and it's everything else. I'm really trying to get back into it, leaning into the leadership. Now I'm getting older. Like I feel like I've learned a good amount.
Yeah.
And the people that listen or follow or whatever me over the years are in their early 20s. I feel like in the next couple of years, the next 2 to 3 years, things are going to look a lot different than they do now or even in the last year or two.
Right.
I know I get in these modes of like I just want to hide sometimes.
Yeah.
When I know I wasn't called to.
And you said something right at the beginning of this video too. Randomly.
My ego?
Your ego.
My ego. Yeah. About the pod. Mm-hmm. So my ego been tripping, right? Because I have certain connections to like certain people, and I'm like, why don't I just become like the freaking go-to for like Christian hip-hop artists and get all these people and do this crazy shit? But I'm like, we talked about this in the first episode. Like, I'm not as comfortable. Like, even when the format we're doing right now, it's like I'm able to just flow and be free and not worry about where the show is going. Is this paced well enough?
Yeah.
Is it this or is it that? So, yeah, I had to put my ego back in check the other day. I was like, bro, like, chill out. Just freaking be consistent for once. Maybe that's one thing you can work on, my boy. Be consistent in freaking doing this pod.
Yeah.
Because the only time you were ever consistent was when you did creative culture.
Right.
So it's like we have to be very intentional. And I think Sundays would work best for us.
Yeah.
At least until camp starts, and we'll have to figure something out.
Right.
Or take a little break. But if we can like stack episodes not stack episodes, but like, what if we did 20 episodes straight?
Yeah.
Then analyze where we're at.
Well, it just also brings me back to another conversation that we had too, where you're a dreamer. You are a visionary. You like to think of different ideas to do, different things, and you're just so out there. And you're just like way out there.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And you said something the other day too. Oh, because you were wanting to start doing videos again, like on your personal channel and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And you were trying to ask me.
I wanted to start then.
Yes, you wanted to start right then and there. You had all these ideas, and I just told you to just be consistent and to start off small.
You said wait.
And wait. You didn't like that.
No. It goes against every fiber of my being.
Yeah.
Because as a dreamer, those of you that can relate to that, creatives want to run as fast as possible out the gate.
Yep.
It's like those horses or those races where you see as soon as the gates open.
Yeah.
That's how I am. As soon as I have a thought,
Yep.
Okay, I have this, I can do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And then I have no like structure, nothing in place to sustain any of that dream.
Right. We've talked about this because this is a conversation that I've actually had with Amanda, which is one of the previous episodes that you guys watched her on, and
She's great.
We had a conversation because they had read a book that I had went on one of the Bible studies on, and it was about being a dreamer. And one of the things that was said in the book was about being a dreamer and then also a dream carrier. And I said this to you too because you're such a dreamer. You love to dream. You love to think of new ideas, and it's so great and it's so awesome to see. But I think for me, what works well with us is that I'm your dream carrier. And that means that I may not see what you're dreaming, but whatever it is that you have the idea for, I can be the person to carry that dream for you. Okay, well, this is what you can do. This is what you can do, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And kind of be like the executive to that.
Yes.
And I think it's so
crucial
in certain things that people dream about, if you are a dreamer, to have those dream carriers that are around you, or maybe you can even seek them out in your group to see who is around me that wants to be a dream carrier. around me, because people even have that as in friendships or family members or anything like that too. There's some days when I'm a dreamer and I can dream about certain things and you're like, okay, how do we do that? The dream carrier will kind of just align you.
Try to bring it to life,
And
make it practical.
Yeah.
Bring you out of the clouds a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically a conversation that we had the other day when you were wanting to figure out what videos you were wanting to do, and you were trying to think of this and
you
that.
Pretty much reined me in. Like, all right.
Because I know you.
100%. That's how I've always been, and that's why things flop so often.
Yeah.
Like, you'll know a dreamer when they start a ton of things, or they start talking about, can't wait for the future, what the future brings, and blah, 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 because they have an idea that they're going to start. Oh, we've been thinking about this for like a year, like 6 months. Like, no, you thought about it last week, and you pushed record. Like, I see that all the time.
Yeah.
We've been working on this for a year.
Yeah.
No, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
Be quiet.
You thought about it last night.
Yeah, you thought about it last week, and you painted your garage.
You had a dream about it.
Like, come on, bro. Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Be real. But I need that.
Yeah.
I need you in that capacity.
Right.
I have a hard time believing that I'm called to do this. Mm-hmm. I've been told a lot. Like, bro, you got it. You just got to do it. But I think this structure that we've now started working on, this format,
right,
it will show whether or not I'm going to be. Mm-hmm. Because if we can start stacking things, we'll analyze as we go. Like, okay, is there any results here? Is it working? Is it not? I feel like even considering yourself a dream carrier takes a level of maturity. Mm-hmm. Because everyone wants to be the CEO. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to be the creative, the dreamer that came up with this idea.
100%.
And so, like, even finding dream carriers is tough.
The other thing I think about is that there's a negative side to being a dreamer. Of you could have all these dreams and have this ego or this pride of, no, I had this dream and this is what it's going to be. And the carrier could be like, well, what about this or what about that? And give you the, like, kind of the twist and turns about it, and kind of bring, like you said, reeling you back in. And you could just be like, oh, no, that's not what I'm thinking. So we're just going to do it the way that I said.
Yeah.
Because that could be the negative side too. But I think, kind of like you said, when there's a level of maturity and kind of actually thinking it out and knowing, maybe like, oh, okay, kind of seeing the other side and all that, it kind of just levels that out too. The other thing that I remember reading, or I think it was a devotional that I saw one day, was maybe a dream that you have is something that you might not even be the one to carry out, but maybe something for your children to carry out. And I think that was even kind of going back into the maturity of, can you be mature enough to even obey God and say, yeah, maybe that's not for me, and to just let that dream go.
Well, I've had that conversation around my dad too. Mm-hmm. To where, like, he's received vision and dreams that I feel like were from God, and that I even think we all thought were for him to carry out. To where I'm like, yeah, Dad, like, maybe it's not for you, it's for me.
Yeah.
Right? My young, stupid selfishness. Like, oh, we're building everything for me. That's what it's going to be for. But I'm like, now I'm 30. I don't think it's for me.
Yeah.
Everything you've walked through, Pops, I don't think it was even for me. I think it was for me to keep carrying it on to get to them. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's not for them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's for someone that they run into and light someone's fire. But the things that I've experienced and done and gone through, I think it's all for them. Mm-hmm. All the stupid mistakes that I've made financially, just decision-making wise, and I think it's to give us some kind of a blueprint to be like, hey, bro, like, or I call him bro, whatever. Be like, yo, I fell flat on my face doing this.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I try to chase my dreams, girls. This is what could happen, right? If you're going to chase your dreams, maybe chase them younger, you know? But Dad tried. And even if, like, maybe they try something and fail, and I have this to share with them of this journey out here.
Yeah.
And call it, like, don't call it a failure or whatever. But, like, I know what it feels like to not accomplish what you wanted to.
Right.
I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to fall on your face. I know what it feels like to make some bad mistakes. When it comes to my babies, like 100, I have the maturity to give up anything.
Yeah.
Everyone, like I said, everyone wants to be the CEO. Everyone wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
But there are few. Laborers are few.
Yes.
So it's like, it's the same for dreamers, I feel like. There's so many people that want to be the CEO, the dreamer, the creative.
Mm-hmm.
The carriers, that's not normal.
It also gives purpose to people too.
The laborers are few.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the carriers are needed.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone that is successful in some way, every church that is doing it well and succeeding has carriers of the dream, has carriers of the vision.
Yeah.
So if there isn't people helping you carry, you're just going to be spinning your wheels on your own. There's no way that I could ever get to the next level of what I'm trying to do with content or with podcasts or anything like that if I don't have someone to help me carry.
100%.
Because my dreaming aspect will just keep taking me like a squirrel all over the next shiniest thing.
Yeah.
Because I know I don't have the willpower to be consistent with 5 episodes in a row of, okay, this is not working, blah, blah, blah. Dream something different. Change the format. Change this, change that.
I like having those conversations with you.
I think it's huge and it's important because if you don't, I don't think you ever get better.
Yeah.
Like straight up. You'll just be doing the same thing thinking, you'd literally be just starting. If I was on my own and I didn't have you to talk me off of the cliff sometimes,
Yeah.
I would have bought more stuff that I don't use anymore. I would have started freaking sports leagues.
Right.
I would have quit jobs. I would have taken jobs. I would have gone back and forth on things. And there's even other things that I probably should have freaking listened to.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I take it for granted because I am so, like even my dad. I take knowledge for granted sometimes because it comes from a place to where I'm so used to just hearing your voice
Yeah.
that it doesn't hit me the same. My dad will say the same thing. It's like, why's it got to come from someone like this, blah, 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 when I've been telling you this. You've been telling me this. But I think I'm just sometimes so used to you giving me something that the value, I don't have the value for me for some reason.
Yeah.
When the value should still be up here. But for some reason, I've become so calloused. I've become so used to, yeah, it's just V. That's just my dad. That I don't value it like I should.
Yeah.
And you kind of take it for granted.
100%. I love this, babe. I love you. And I support you in all of your endeavors. You don't support me.
Do I got nice pants or what? What the hell do you mean I don't support you?
You don't support me in all of my endeavors.
I quite literally support you in all of your endeavors.
That's always a saying that I tell him all the time. You never support me in all of my endeavors.
Making me uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? I love you too.
So fill the comments with all the love for Aaron because he gets uncomfortable.
Don't do that. I'll delete all of you right now. I'm just kidding. Comment down below. That'd be cool.
Yes, that would be cool. Like, subscribe, all the things. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Peace, peace.